All right. Week 10 is upon us, and our world is going through, as I suspect you all feel right now, a lot. And I want to give you just some words about our campus because there's been some news today about Fresno City closing, and that's not true, especially online. So, as of right now, and God knows this is subject to change, but I just want to communicate this with you, to you. I wish it was with you. I'll come back to that topic in a minute. So, as of today, our campus, starting Monday, for classes that are on campus. And there is, by the way, a list of exceptions to this. And there's actually an announcement that I'll try. I watched it just a little while ago, a YouTube live session from our president, Dr. Gerald Goldsmith, and some of our other administrators talking about what classes would be exempt from this. But starting on Monday, classes that are on campus, except for those in the list, will be suspended for a week. And then the reason we're taking the week for on-campus classes is that gives some time, not a lot, but some time to those faculty that need either some additional education or some time to deliver their course content online. So that's what next week will be. So you can check. By the way, you should hear from your instructors anyway. If you happen to be taking a class face to face and is in that situation, you should be hearing from them. But if you're not, right, let me know and I can point you to the resources that we have. There should be some stuff here on Canvas pretty soon showing up that gives us a little more detail. And again, it's class specific, but if you're taking on campus classes, that's just something you want to make sure you're aware of because the suspension will start. We're suspending the semester for those classes that are not on the list. I always have to say that because it's not all classes. But here's the deal, online classes are fine. We're going to keep going. So our class will not change. We still have week 10. I'm sitting here looking at it. I've already got it ready for you to do. It is back to coding. So, we can take a look at that. But I want to tell you, right? So I just want to keep you informed about what's going on our campus because I know each of us has a degree to which we pay attention to what's happening, right? But the spread of the COVID-9 virus, is affecting many areas of our lives, our economy, our government, our people, most importantly, our people, our people that are vulnerable, right? Luckily in Fresno, we have not had or seen a lot of cases, but that doesn't mean they're not here because of the way it is being transmitted and how long it can take to show up. So when you look at the models, so the thing, and I'll just kind of say this and then end, and we'll move on to regular content. But the idea, if you've seen this trending, is flatten the curve. Because what happened in Italy was that because they weren't taking action, it spread so quickly that um, their nation's healthcare system couldn't keep track. And so by doing all these, and this is the term social distancing things that we can do, will help. The hope is that we have less people being infected so that we can manage those that are. So anyway, it's not, it's a time to just be vigilant, understand what's going on in your world and be aware, but don't be freaked out because life as we know it is changing always, but now rapidly. So, if you have anything, if you want to chat about that, let me know. Reach out and let me and say that. So, actually, on that vein, because I just finished and I'm a little bit late. I normally go through your learn togethers on Thursday, but with all the things on campus, I haven't. Because one of the things I'm going to do next week is I am going to help out where any instructor who needs some additional stuff because obviously, well, maybe obviously, I like online instruction. I really enjoy it. I enjoy doing the content. I enjoy the freedom that it gives you to be able to consume it in your own life and your own process, but within a time frame. But even in this class, and I will say this, there is a real benefit for you to come see me. And we're coming into, right? This is week 10, 11, and week 12, right before we head out for spring break, is your next Develop It. And you wrote about it last night. And I really liked what I was reading because, and that was actually my goal for the last night's work, was that you think through some of this stuff. Because the more honestly you have a plan, and then the sooner you start coding. I know I sound like a teacher because I am, okay? But the sooner you start coding, and I'm just not a teacher, it's just me too. I mean, I have to work on this stuff. Like week 10, learn together. Like I had to rethink mine a couple times, and you'll see if you haven't already checked it out. It's basically me saying, take a look at the Notes app and the To-Do app and add something to it, because honestly, part of what I want you to get from this class is I want you to get that muscle, work on that muscle that is creative in the sense that you think, what would I add? What functionality can I add to these apps in a way to help get your brain started about how you do your own? Because this skill, so we're trying to transmit to you, and yeah, I've said this before, but so this is a little bit of repeat. So this is a skill-based course. Yes, I want you to understand the concepts, and the better you understand the concepts, the better you're a coder. The more code you read, the better you're a coder. But the most important thing, in my humble opinion, and many people I've talked to over the years, and my own experience tells me, it's really when you get in there and start coding is when you learn the most. Therefore, my 3 development projects for this class. Okay, so next week, week 10, sitting here looking at it, take a look, sooner the better. And I will leave you with another thought. If you're a student that is transferring on to Fresno State, I got some good news for you. There's a class over there, IS51. This class now can transfer for that class, which is awesome. So if you're somebody going on to Fresno State, or it's at Fresno State right now, and that's a class you need to take, if it's a class you've already taken, sorry, but if it's a class you need to take, IS51, this class can give you credits for that when it transfers. So that just happened recently. Do you want to know more about that? Let me know. The last thing I'm thinking about is actually instituting a linting requirement for our class. Helps you write better code. Do you know what that is? Let me actually pop over here real quick. So I'm looking at ESLint because it's probably the most popular one out there, and it basically is just a plugin to your editor. I mean, it has, I think, probably some online tools, but most of the time what you're doing is implementing it into your editor so that when you're writing code, oh, look, they do have an online, so you could copy and paste it, right? So here's the kind of output, right? So foo is assigned but never used, right? And then bar is not assigned, not defined. So these are good things, just helps you. So I'm actually thinking, like in this reply to this message, like, have you ever heard of a linter? And a linter is basically a syntax checker, because it'd be nice to have some feedback as soon as you're writing code about errors in your code as you're writing them. Now you do get that in VS Code. VS Code does give you some of that, but this just gives you a better message. And it also, you can implement styles into it, coding styles, styling requirements. But for now, I'm just curious, have you heard of linting? And if you have, which ones have you used? So again, I'll probably have more on this next week. And then, okay, all right, I wasn't done. One other thing, I've been talking to a couple of you, and one of the things, for those of you that want to continue, you need HTML, CSS, you're like, I know I need to do that. And even after this course and other times there's 2 really good resources that I recommend, and I'm actually thinking of starting a Discord community. What do you think about that? Have you used Discord? Do you have opinions about that? Discord is basically a Slack. It's not Hangouts. It's actually Hangouts with a lot more. Um, so I'm actually thinking of starting one just for students who take our classes and want to continue their education. So the one I'm going to just tell you, there's two. One is called Free Code Camp, and if you haven't checked out Free Code Camp, I definitely think you should. They have so much great content. It's freaking amazing. I actually in a class when I first started teaching JavaScript used them. And then over time I didn't, but they have since upgraded a lot of their content. So JavaScript. So in here, it's just a nice way to get some more muscle memory. I've often thought that the learn together exercises might be some of this, but I haven't done it. But that's one. And the other one is the Odin Project. I don't know if you've heard of the Odin Project. It's basically another way, ODIN. It's another way to do online acquisition of skills in this case. So HTML, CSS, Git, databases, Ruby on Rails, Node, and Get Hired. So either of these, if you're interested in kind of taking your skill, which I hope you are, to the next level, I hope to see you continue to take our classes. But I think these resources are really good. And you may find one like Odin works better for you than Free Code Camp, or Free Code Camp versus the other one. And these are just suggestions, because I've had now at least 3 or 4 students I've been talking to about how to kind of take what they're learning here and move their skill even further. So enough for today. Have a great weekend. It is a beautiful day outside in Fresno. Peace. Peace out, peace in, and peace all around is my motto.